All right, so it's me again. Welcome to the Tree of Inspiration. I'll just give you a brief history. Many of you have heard this before, but I think it's kind of a wonderful history, especially if it's brief. Some friends of mine from Fergus said, oh, they're having this poet come to visit them, and he likes William Blake. Oh, yeah, I say, sure, he likes William Blake, yes, okay. And you should meet him. Oh, all right, so we arrange a meeting, and I meet him, and then at that point, I give him a CD, or another point, I give him a CD of my Blake Carl songs, and he hands me a volume of his first book of poetry called The Mechanical Bird. And for me, when I read poetry, if I start to gloss over by the first stanza, I don't usually get much further. But I'm looking at this book, and I come to this poem, and it says, it's called How to Lie. Oh, I said, I like that. And I read it. And not only was it an interesting title, but so engaging. And then there was also how to get away with a lie, and how to catch a lie, and how to solve a lie. And so then I go and get the second volume of poetry, and I come across a long poem, and it's called Dante's IKEA. Was that a piano? What was that?
It was the demon.
Anyway, so before I knew it, I had 13 of these poems set to music. And I was talking to a friend of mine who's an English professor, who's here today again, and I was telling him, mentioning this, and sort of saying, I've sent this poet, I'm working with this poet, his name is what is her name? Of course he's an English professor, so you might know. He says, well, that's Andy Boxer's son. So, in fact, Dan had, in fact, a collection of books that book once belonged to Abby Boxer in his collection. He started the Poetry Center, the Aurora Poetry Center. That was quite a connection. Oh, I thought. And he says, and there are these fantastic photographs that Asa has of his father and their contemporaries. And I want to see them, says Dan. Oh, all right. Well, I knew that there was, because I'd written this music, there was a concert happening. So now there was going to be a concert with some little cases of, old poetry books and some photographs. Then I'm talking to another friend of mine, and he says, oh, they'd make great paintings. In fact, I think he said they'd make great comic book material. And this fellow is a friend of mine for 20 years and an artist, and I know exactly what he means. I thought, oh, now we have the cases, and we have the photographs, and now we have some paintings, and now we have some comic books. And then, then I thought, what is this? And I came up with the idea based on one of Asa's father's poems called The Branch, from which I felt that we have a tree of inspiration, and that we have the roots of Abby Boxer and the Montreal poetry, including Irving Layton and Naomi Klein, and coming up, and there's Asa, and then all these branches of all these artists. And we have 15 artists who have been inspired by Asa's poetry. And when I say these things caught on, I would lend somebody the book of poetry, and yes, they were in after they started reading this poetry. It caught. At one point I thought, well, I don't want this to sort of disappear, so we're going to make a movie, a film, a documentary. So I started interviewing all the different artists, and on September the 27th, we showed the movie at the Gard Cinema. But prior to that, finally, Asa Boxer from Montreal, since he's from Montreal, decides he better get down to this little town of Aurora and find out really what's going on. And so he came, so we interviewed him, and that was part of the film as well. And then we had Dan give a talk about the Montreal poetry scene of the 50s and 60s, including Irving Layton, Louis Dedrick, and Leonard Cohen. We had the movie on the 27th of September, and we had a couple of other things too. But I can't remember.
The opening of the exhibition.
Well, then we had the exhibition, which opened on the 19th.
And readings.
And then we had more readings on the Wednesday. Asa did some more readings because he came out again. And in fact, further to that, he's going to come out again, and he's going to do in the indeterminate future, to do a writing workshop. So, a poetry workshop. So, and so after the concert, we will have refreshments right here, but you are invited, if you have not yet seen the show, to walk through and go up the stairs and see all the wonderful stuff that has come out of this. Just two more things, I think. And one of them is that not only did my friend, who's the painter, start doing some paintings around the poems, I found myself doing little computer graphic drawings with them. And my friend, who's the painter, said to me one day, he said, I've set one to music. And then he said, I've set 2. And then 3. And then he said, there's a problem. And I said, what's that? I've said 4. So you'll hear 3 of those 4 tonight as well. One of the people I also gave the poems to is a fellow, Bob Robb, who used to live in Laura and is a wonderful character. And he said the poem Love, but unfortunately, and he sings it with African harp, kora, and it is just beautiful. But unfortunately, his wife had something of a medical emergency, so his sister says he had 2 babes in each arm, both crying at the same time when he called. Yeah. So he's not able to make it tonight. But when we go up to is the set up for the movie? Is the movie been set up yet?
Yes.
But will that be possible?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we're up in the gallery, we'll put on the movie, and his. I was so taken with his setting that it is the opening for the, and also the closing for the film. So you'll get a sense of what that's about. All right. Is that everything? More or less. So without further ado, I'm going to invite Lauren Baldwin and I'm going to invite I'm not going to invite Lauren Baldwin, and I'm going to invite Dave Wilcox, who's a photographer and a what's the word, Dave?
Shanker.
Hey?
Kind of.
He's kind of a Shiner, right? Which is an Irish, little Irishman with a little white beard and a cap, who goes along and makes some music, traditional stuff. So, but you'll also see Dave Wilcox is also a wonderful photographer, and you'll see a couple of his wonderful photographs in the gallery. He's going to open with a semi-traditional Irish song, as is mentioned in your program. So, Dave, do you need a stool? You need a stool? Yes?
The chair here.
Okay.
Thanks, Peter, for making me up. You're supposed to give me bad nerves, but I have ice water in my veins with single malt. Thanks to Bob Robb not showing. It's a very short song. There was depending on some guitar in the middle. Well, again, thanks again, Peter. May you have boils. I'm your gypsy man. By the way, he's an English poet. Will you not stay? Pick up the caravan just for one day. All things are good to you. Will you be my guest? Bells for your dinner to silver the best. Goldsters to meet you, great golden ring. Peacocks bow to your little girl sing. Oh, sweet girls will stone you with May. Time the old gypsy were hastening away. Last week in Babylon, I'll start that line again. Last week in Babylon, last night in Rome, morning in the crush under Paul's dome, under Paul's dial, you tighten your rein, only for a moment and off once again. Off to some city, no blind in the womb, off to another that's in the tomb. Time you old gypsy man, will you not stay? Pick up the caravan just for one day. Stop the caravan just for one day. Put up the caravan just for one day. Just for one day. Stretch it any further than that.
Thank you. I'll just tell you that this is the first poem which I set to music. It's not the first poem that I set to music. It's called The Branch from Which I Fell, and in fact this is the epitaph poem written by Asa's father, Avi Boxer. And
keep the light on. Yours truly, God.
The next two examples will be Jim Hillis's settings of two of Asa's poems. The Turtle of the Stone and Night Shift. Do you want to know it?
The turtle moves as slowly as he does, because he desires to be counted among the stone cold, the rock solid. The turtle moves as carefully as he does, because he wants to live forever, and somewhere in his amphibious brain, the longevity of coral, the persistence of mountains and boulders have impressed him with their stubborn immobility. The turtle is but a step away from stone, and he hopes each day to slow his pace, to approach within a fraction of dead halt, and thus come so near death as to learn the secrets of eternity and strike the deal struck by stone. The owl scares for mouse, and in his gut he turns her inside out. The bat weaves through the crisscross trees, wings upon her sonar wings, to trap the bug and feel him sing. Wise anatomist studies the tissues, then spits the gist, the shag and bone of what exists, and bat, dread acrobat, flips the forest upside down, and all the creatures underground, the shrew, the hedgehog, and the mole, fall out like raveled soldiers from their tunneled holes.
This poem is a collection of about 4 poems songs that comes out of Aza's living in Israel for about 10 years. And
we are collecting our victims. We are cataloging them, alphabetically in books, and giving them in glistening cenotaphs. We sing songs. Our histories trouble over The army rewards its victims with rank, a stripe, a bar, a star. But why leap on a dead man's shoulders? It's a desperate tribe that dies by the busload. We are collecting our victims. We house them like gods in elaborate shrines. But tourists pass through with their guides. All victims are perfect. All of them shine. Hearts adore them and adorn them. A victim is saintly and serene. A victim is meek and asks only for one thing: that you dutifully kill for its cause.
This first poem we're going to do three here, and the first and the last use the metaphor of the water coming to the shoreline as a metaphor for a relationship. So water and sand, and there you go.
Extending a limb, the tide tests and tests again the texture of the sand. Then mounts, dissolves, upheavals and castles of grit, where water passes, beach brims and sparkles, relaxing back into himself. For the next million years, she'll bank on him. He clumps when she's gone. He grows shifty and dumb. He hides money, dirty habits. She sieves his cockles, uncovers oysters, and the mother of
So this is Dante's IKEA. Is that?
Yes, yes it is. In the bedroom's floor of IKEA, where love's theatres are assembled, my sweetheart, upon the softest bed, upon the softest bed, my sweetheart wept. I scoffed, insisted I could neither rest nor play on the stuck sarcophagi. We shuffled over to living rooms and sat on separate sofas. Prepared to pay unbeatable prices. roads. With hearts in throats, we headed down to the second circle. There, a horde of howling children caged in glass, smiling wryly at my companion. I queried why they bawled their eyes out so, and answering somberly, she replied, they wail so because their parents have lied to them again about time. Another eternity has passed them by. The toilets and the urinals hissed just down the hall, but none emerging came to claim these orphaned babes. Feeling that they ought to know, I volunteered that Mom and Dad were lost among the boxes down below. At which they turned their red-eyed demon faces and stoned my image in the glass with hollow plastic balls. From thence we proceeded till we stood atop the stairwell to the final warehouse floor. And there we paused, and thus we prayed. Dear God, I hope the pieces fit this time. Then down we tread to the third circle, and with each awful step we took the holy knee. The pillows brought no comfort, the bath mats were all wrong, the candle smelled like poison, the vases lacked all grace of form. The picture frames and hangers, though, were irresistible. Shown above. What if Robin's legs and more corkscrews were mixed with Michael's top? Dare we crack it open, look inside? Is it goes to show a lack of faith down here? I don't care, she answered, nothing matters anymore. It seemed we found the fabled veil of despair. But just beyond, awash with sun, the blessed sun. You're meant to see the light and stand a few short meters off that happy plain we call the parking lot. With eyes asquint, you can spot your car. But by Zeno's law, the line you're in is an infinite series of half steps, halves of half steps, halves of those. A twisting child, red and raw with sobbing, entangled in a wire cart seat, shit and blue-green bubbles from her nose. At the checkered wheels surrendered, our identities signed, our names away, then we wheeled off. Beyond the glaring Okay.
Change of mood here.
Yeah. I need some water.
This poem is called Love.
Each
here's Jim Hillis's setting of the same words, and then just make a mental note and listen to Bob Robb's setting of these words as well, which we will have with the movie.
Each wave stamps the shore with her own signature, clears all signs of she who went before. The wisdom of the beach is how he grasps grain for grain. She who slips through all his fingers the wonders of water is how she leaves her scent on every bead of sand.
For those of you who haven't read all your Herodotus, and the successors of Herodotus, who took Herodotus' tales, Herodotus was talking about the people over there, way far away, who had an eyes on their chest, and had no head, eyes on their chest, and a nose, and a mouth down here, or all these other monstrous races they were called. And this was passed down from generation to generation throughout the whole Middle Ages, when in fact, to be a real traveler, you would go to a monastery and copy out something that Herodotus had said, and his successors. And so Isa took this kind of wonderful, fertile ground and wrote some poems about North America, and they're called Friar Beard and Massey's Primer to the New World. And they're kind of weird and wonderful and delightful, and they kind of play with your mind in a most delicious way, particularly if you have a propensity for accepting authority. The first one is called, the first one is called Friar Beard Dispels the Myth. And there's a little, as they used to have in medieval and Renaissance, there's a little thing in the corner which kind of gives you a synopsis or what to expect. And so here, the little thing says, the venerable Jesuit prepares the traveler for encounters with alien races.
Our fate
And this is called Friar Bayard in the land of Dawson, and the little thing in the square says, Friar Bayard discovers the sons of Dew.